Okay, so for this propaganda poster assignment, you are going to create a propaganda poster from one of the three societies. So you're going to pretend that you are working for either the government or the citizens from any one of these three stories, and then create a piece of propaganda that represents your view. So you could do this from the perspective of the people in control, so like the government. You could do it from the perspective of the citizens. You could do it really from any perspective that you want. It could be from like the technological standpoint if you're doing the pedestrian. You really just pick which viewpoint you want to represent. So, first, you'll need to decide who is behind the propaganda and what outcome they want. Think about what the government, corporation, or technology wants in these stories. You could also consider what the resistance or opposing side would want. So, here are some things that governments typically want in dystopian stories: they want safety, control, conformity, isolation, they want technology to advance. The citizens in dystopian stories tend to want nonconformity, freedom of choice, thought and action, community, nature, and humanity. So, those could be the outcomes that you desire. You could also have different outcomes, though. Next, you're going to think about what you want your audience to do or believe after seeing your propaganda. So, again, here are some potential ideas: vote for or against something or someone, act or stop acting in a certain way, buy a product, support a cause, donate money, spread information, and so on. Again, that's not an exhaustive list, that's just a quick little brainstorm, and you can have different ideas, and I encourage you to have different ideas. Then you're going to decide what emotion you want your audience to feel and which propaganda techniques you will use to convey your message. I've linked the slideshow here again if you need it. Here are the types of propaganda techniques that we talked about. And then finally, you're going to create your poster using Canva, Google Drawings, or another graphic design website. You should use royalty free images from Pixabay, Unsplash, or Pexels, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And then you're going to write a paragraph that explains what fictional entity would put this propaganda out, what outcome they desire, what they want people to do or believe, what emotion they want you to feel, and what technique you used. And you'll turn this in on Canvas, excuse me, along with your poster. So I have this little kind of like fill in the blank project planner. You don't have to use it. It's just kind of there to help you if you need help deciding what you want to do. So, like, my perspective is the government, and I want safety. After seeing my propaganda, I want people to support my candidate. I want the audience to feel scared. I'm going to use name calling to spread this message, right? You can kind of plan it out that way so that you have a plan in mind. I'm going to show you my example. Mine is from A Sound of Thunder. So I'm using name calling here. It says, "Don't be a weakling, vote for Deutscher," right? So we talked um, in the story, there's the two presidential candidates. And when Eccles comes back from accidentally stepping on the butterfly in the past, he has changed the future to where now Deutscher is the president. And we know that he would be a terrible dictator and very oppressive. And so that's sort of the angle that I went for. And then here's my paragraph explaining what story, who created it, what do they want people to believe, what propaganda technique is it, and so on. Okay, this is worth 25 points. So you can see you get 5 points for your paragraph response, five for taking on a perspective, five for propaganda techniques, five for design and overall effectiveness, and five for grammar and mechanics. Okay, so let's quickly talk about these websites. I know that we have used Canva in the past for different things. So you can just use a Google account to either log in or sign in if you've never used one before. I just did Poster, but you could probably do anything. And then all of the tools that you need are over here on the left side. So there's templates that you can use. You can add photos. You can add different elements. You can add backgrounds. For mine that I did, I honestly just picked a background. You can see I picked this city background. Okay. But you can see there's lots and lots of different options. But then what I did is I picked the city background and then I went to effects, and there's all these different effects that you can add as well. And I picked this bad TV um, effect, but as you can see, there's like glitches, different things. Okay, and so then you just click on those and then you can apply them to your image. And so then I thought that kind of just made it look a little bit more like dystopian or, scary or what have you. And then there's text over here. You can use, like, I used this one and then just change the words. But you can also just add a heading and then, change it, change your fonts and everything. And then there's a download button here for when you're ready to download it. You can either do a PDF or like a JPEG, either one is fine. Um, so that's a very brief discussion of Canva, but it's very user friendly. And then what I mean by royalty free images, I'm just going to go to Pixabay because all three of these work very similarly. But when you Google something, you sometimes find images that are under copyright. And so you're not technically supposed to use those images in your work. So what you need to do instead is find royalty-free or Creative Commons images. And so Pixabay, Unsplash, and Pexels are all websites that provide those. So these are images that different photographers have put up with the understanding that anyone can use them for anything. So this is what we need to be using. This also allows you to get very high quality images versus sometimes if you go to Google and you download something, it's very pixelated and it doesn't look good at all. So um, you can scroll through, you can search. Like if I wanted to search, um, I don't know, I'll just do politician just to, be easy. Okay, and then it's going to pull up a bunch of stuff. Like this website has a bunch of stuff with like Trump and Obama and whatever. But there's also like more, generalized images the further down you go. So maybe you want to have like these two worlds or, um, what have you. Here's like some people clapping. I don't know who they are. Maybe you want something happy, and so you're going to do this. I don't know. Okay. So you can search for basically anything. I'm just going to search citizen now. Right. And so you get some more images you can just see like the types of images that you can get. So um, these are a great source. You can also use images that exist in Canva, but what you can't do is just download random images from Google that are not royalty free. So make sure that you're using images from Pixabay, Unsplash, or
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Royalty-free material subject to copyright or other intellectual
okay.
property rights may be used without the
Hang
need
on a
to pay
second.
royalties or license fees.
Okay, sorry. Somehow I activated my Google Home, and I don't know how I did that. Okay, so use Pixabay, use Unsplash, use Pexels to find your images. If you have questions, just let me know. You can send me an email and I will be happy to help. And I hope you have fun with this assignment. It's definitely an opportunity to be a little creative and show some, design as well as your understanding from the story. So let me know if you have any questions.